hapa kwa karaoke manze. Kama ni maji ndo naleta shida, toeni watu wa mto, ona watoi. Ona, hii ni live ya watoi juu ya mabati manze. They are risking their...
Roads turned into gushing rivers and homes were swamped by waist-high muddy waters. Storms and flash floods wreaked devastation across the Kenyan capital Nairobi on Wednesday, claiming at least 4 lives. The East Africa region has been lashed by relentless downpours in recent weeks, as the El Niño weather pattern exacerbates the seasonal rainfall. Across Nairobi, images posted by Kenyan media showed trucks, cars and motorbikes stuck in the deluge and people wading through floodwaters in slum areas of the city to try to reach safety. An estimated 60,000 people, mostly women and children, have been severely affected by the flash floods, according to the Nairobi County Governor's Office. Unfortunately, we have lost 4 lives, and the search is on to locate 6 others who have been reported missing, it said in a statement. In one incident, police fired tear gas to try to disperse angry residents who had blocked a main highway with long queues of cars calling for government action over the floods. Kenya Railways announced it was temporarily suspending commuter train services as a precautionary measure, while the roads authority said 4 roads in the capital had been partly closed. The city is at a standstill because most roads are flooded, said Uber driver Kelvin Mwangi. We are having to use longer routes and in some cases we can't get to our destination. Homes were engulfed in the sprawling Nairobi slum of Mathar, where local media reports said residents were forced to sleep on rooftops overnight. The Kenya Red Cross said it had rescued 18 people including 7 children who were stranded in Mathar. It posted a picture on X showing its workers, some waist-high in water, engaged in rescue efforts as a man carried a young child on his shoulder. In a dramatic rescue on Tuesday, Kenyan police said they had saved a 5-year-old boy who had been marooned alone by floods in Machakos County south of the capital. The youngster had been left behind by his father as the waters rose and was airlifted to safety by chopper, the National Police Service said on X. The Red Cross said the Athi River, the second longest in Kenya that runs south of Nairobi to the Indian Ocean, had burst its banks, blocking roads and leaving residents stranded. Our response teams are on the ground in most of these areas, evacuating families to safety and providing other life-saving interventions, it added. Prominent opposition Senator Edwin Sifuna said the situation in Nairobi had escalated to extreme levels and that the county authorities were clearly overwhelmed. We need all national emergency services mobilized to save lives, he said on X. UN Humanitarian Response Agency OCHA had said on Friday that rains and floods had claimed the lives of at least 32 people in Kenya and forced more than 40,000 from their homes in almost half the country's counties. Elsewhere in the region, nearly 100,000 people have been displaced in Burundi, while at least 58 people have died in Tanzania and several thousand made homeless. El Niño often has devastating consequences in East Africa, where late last year more than 300 people died in torrential rains and floods in Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia after the region suffered its worst drought in 4 decades. From October 1997 to January 1998, massive floods caused more than 6,000 deaths in 5 countries in the region. The Horn of Africa is one of the regions most vulnerable to climate change, even though the continent's contribution to global carbon emissions is a fraction of the total. The ongoing floods in Nairobi have prompted the urban roads regulator's decision to close some roads, and the county government's decision to halt major construction and excavation work until further notice temporarily. In a press statement, Governor Johnson Sakaja announced the halt of construction projects as part of the government's efforts to prevent further disaster. Over 60,000 people have been affected by the floods, with displacements witnessed across many neighborhoods including Mathar, Babadogo, Githurai, Zimmerman, Ruiru, Kijabi, Rue, Ruaraka, Kitengela, and Utawala. The flash floods have also claimed the lives of 4 people, with 6 others reported missing as a multi-agency task force plans to mitigate further disaster in the most affected residential areas. We have halted all building development approvals for now until we review all those that have been issued across the city. We have also banned excavation in all sites, especially those in riparian areas with immediate effect, said Johnson Sakaja. These directives are intended to proactively prevent the collapse of buildings, a phenomenon common in the rainy season. The review process will evaluate the structural integrity of existing buildings. The governor also said that several bridges have collapsed in Nairobi, including the Huruma Gateway Bridge, Ngamba Bridge, Gamongo, and the Githunguri Footbridge. Governor Sakaja has also ordered individuals living along riverbeds and stipulated flood-prone areas to relocate immediately. About 3,000 people have been earmarked for habitation in safe shelters where they shall receive food assistance. The bursting of the Ngang River banks has affected many areas across the city, especially downstream, including the flooding of Magathi Roundabout, flooding in Ectoville Industrial Estate in Mukuro Kwa Ruben Ward, flooding in Wiki Ward along Eastern Bypass, Governor Sakaja said. The Kenya Urban Roads Authority, KARA, has also partially closed some roads to prevent motorists from getting swept away by floods hitting these places. They include Aerodrome Road, Kapenguria Road, An Avenue in Runda, and Kasarani Mwiki Road. Motorists are also warned of flooding along Mombasa Road at Cabanas, Thika Road at Githurai/Kahawa Bridge. The traffic police and our technical team are on the ground to direct traffic and enhance the safety of motorists. We shall keep you posted as the situation unfolds, Kara said in a statement. The Traffic Police Department also announced the closure of Kibiko Road in Ngang. Other roads added to the flooding risk list include Lunga Lunga Road, Kahawa Sukari Road, Limuru Road, Kamatai Road, and Lower Kabit Road. The floods have disrupted many small businesses in affected areas, which are counting losses over the destruction of their premises and commodities. The Kenya Meteorological Department has stated that more rains are expected across the country, sensitizing the need for collaboration between both levels of government and disaster management agencies to save lives and property.
Manze, tulivote, where are our leaders, my friend? Ona watu juu ya nyumba. At Sakaja, at Odalo, where are you? At Anthony?
Thousands of patients across the country continue to feel the pain of searching for medical services due to the doctor's strike, which has been on for 29 days now. Safin Acheng Oma gives us a picture of the real situation in some hospitals in the country.
The government has been on strike for the last 7 years, and tonight we will join them fully.
13th of March 2024, the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union announced the commencement of the nationwide doctors' strike, accusing the government of, among other things, reneging on its promise to fully implement the 2017 collective bargaining agreement, an industrial action that the medics hoped was the perfect antidote for the crisis in the health sector. A crisis that has since transitioned from bad to worse. For 21 days, since the doctors boycotted work, patients have borne the biggest brunt. Juliet Gauku, a patient with diabetes, arrived at the Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital Thursday morning. But despite the torturous journey to the facility, she still was not lucky to see her doctor.
Hata niko na pressure, niko na diabetes, niko nayo, na hiyo mgongo nayo yote niko nayo, hiyo shinda, hata nashindwa kupinduka hata kwa kitanda, na nimekosa ndawa, nimekosa daktari yeyote. Mimi naomba tu serikali yetu ya Kenya kweli ikubaliane na madaktari ndio watu wapate usaidizi yeyote ile.
Health services in most facilities within the county have grinded to a halt. A similar situation at Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital, where minimal activity is witnessed, all courtesy of the nationwide strike by the health workers. Residents express their agony and their lack of viable options.
Kama hamtaki kulipa madaktari, sipazi mwende mlipa madaktari wa kienyeji, tuende tutipiwe huko. Sisi hapa ni kuumia, tunaumia.
Tunaomba kwa huruma uhurumie wa Kenya, ulisha madaktari wetu warudi wakaweze kushughulikia wagonjwa juu wengi wamekufa, wengi wanaumia, na wengi wa Wakenya wana pesa, so wanategemea hizi hospitali za umma.
Wengi wakipoteza vitu vyao wanakuwa compensated. Sasa wale ambao wamepoteza